everybody. Welcome to Digging Deeper Jazz. I'm Jeff Antoniuk, and I want to talk to you today about fast and flashy. And we're going to demystify this. Yes, I've got a very cool Lee Morgan lick that I want to show you, but that's not even the point. The point is you adult amateurs and semi-pros out there, the people that I love talking to. Let's be honest, you've got some old fingers, right? And I've got some old fingers, and they don't always want to move very fast. Many of you that I've worked with have arthritis, or you've got a tendon issue or diminished lung capacity. Like, this is the reality of being old and awesome, right? So we imagined that we could never play some of this, flashy, fast kind of stuff. I'm here to tell you that is not correct. It's not a finger issue. It's more about how we're thinking about what we're hearing. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. This is pretty deep. So I think you're going to have a whole new way of thinking about some of the stuff we hear on an album that we think we could never play. We're going to get into that. Also, I'm going to tell you about some cool online workshops we have coming up in just a minute. So let's do this. Let's look at the PDF and this really great Lee Morgan lick that comes from a John Coltrane album. It's the album Blue Train, a religious relic in jazz. The tune is Locomotion, Blues with a Bridge. And at the beginning of his second blues chorus, Lee Morgan plays this amazing thing. I want you to go listen to it, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to improvise a chorus of blues, just me playing, setting it up, and then I'm going to play this lick at the top of my second chorus. And it's a pretty sort of amazing, astounding thing. Check it out. First time I heard that lick, it blew my mind. I didn't see it written out. I heard it and it was like, oh my God. There was so much intensity in Lee Morgan's playing, and his sound and his time, and it just blew my mind. And I immediately decided I will never know what that is. That is the most amazing, complicated, technical thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I decided that. So that's my problem. I've got this mental illness of deciding that I can't do things. I bet maybe some of you have something like that too, when you hear something amazing on an album. Then the second through 200th time that I heard it, I just drilled that in. I just marveled at how awesome that was. So after about the 201st time, I thought, like, man, maybe I can figure out just a little, and so then I tried to figure out what was going on. I was shocked to learn that there is almost nothing going on in that lick. It is very, very simple, as it turns out, what's underlying it. And by the way, that lick, I think, is more or less stolen from like the Mozart clarinet concerto or something. I can't quite remember, but one of those cadenzas. This goes back to Mozart's time. So is it fast? Yes. Is there some technique involved? Yes. But what we hear on the album, we too often get confused with the personality, the legend of so-and-so playing, and how they're delivering this thing as being separate from, well, what actually is the thing? I wonder if I could ever understand it. I wonder if I could play it. And the answer is, for most of us, yes. So look at this. Item number 1 on the sheet. If I play it slowly for you. So before we get into what that is and what we're going to do with it, I want to tell you about these workshops I have coming up. We've done 16 online workshops this year, thanks to COVID disrupting all of our lives. They have been amazing. We've had hundreds of people do these workshops. We have the last 4 of the year coming up. So coming up in just a week from now, on Saturday, October 31st, 1 in the afternoon, so it works for people all across North America, works for the Europeans too. We're going to be talking about how to analyze transcriptions. And we're going to use the solo, John Coltrane solo on Mr. PC as a way to start looking at what do we do when we have a transcription in front of us. The week after that, on Sunday, November 8th, going to be talking about how do we tell a story when we're soloing, motivic playing. And we're going to be using the Monk song, Well You Needn't, as a point of departure. On Sunday, November 15th, we're going to be talking about demystifying voice leading. What is voice leading and how do we actually use it? And we're going to be looking at the tune All the Things You Are as our point of departure. And a week after that, on Sunday, November 22nd, we're going to be talking about how to have success with playing Latin jazz. We're going to be specifically talking about some Brazilian samba and the Jobim tune So Danço Samba. So go to this address and you can get registered in about 2 minutes. The workshops are $35 each, or all four for $120. So it's a ton of information, and it's not just me lecturing to you. It's just 15 of us. So we are interacting, asking questions, playing for each other. There's a lot we can get done. So I hope you'll sign up for some of those Digging Deeper workshops. These are all topics and songs that you requested. So I'm excited to be doing them for you. Okay, so now getting back to Lee Morgan. What is he doing here? And it is so simple. Item number 2 on the sheet, what I did is generalized what he's playing. In other words, I tried to slow it down and try to understand, essentially analyze the transcription, right? And so what I saw is the entire lick is the B flat triad with a half step approach, A to B flat. And now his next goal note is a D. What's a half step below D? C sharp to D. His next goal is an F, the 5th of a B flat triad, E to F. He's approached the root, the 3rd, the 5th. What comes next? The root. It's just a triad, right? So the most novice of us out there knows what a triad is, or we can learn it in about 30 seconds, right? A half step below that. This is all stuff we can understand. So my issue was I conflated the personality of Lee Morgan, the legend of Lee Morgan, how fast and clean he was playing with, oh, it must be complicated. It's not how it works. It was actually, what he was playing was embarrassingly simple. If we analyze this transcription, and by the way, this is what we're going to be doing a week from now on October 31st, if we look at what Lee Morgan was doing when the blues went to the E flat chord, when it went to the 4 chord in the 5th measure, did he change the notes? No, he kept aiming for that B flat triad. He was literally playing wrong notes and aiming for wrong notes. Yes, I'll say wrong, because on an E flat 7, we all know we want to play a flat 7, and he was aiming for a natural. Did it sound wrong? No. So that's why I use the air quotes for a wrong note. Technically, it was a wrong note in every possible way. But to our ears, he sold that so strongly to us that it made a lot of sense, right? So that's what I was saying about this fast and flashy stuff. Very often when you hear something fast and flashy, your ears and your imagination gets in the way and it turns your brain off. And you're just kind of left there being astounded, right? So I didn't have the ears to hear past my astonishment and go, oh, I hear a triad, or I hear chromatic approach notes. I couldn't get there. So what I had to do is learn this thing or look at it, whichever way, whether someone gives you a transcription, which is what we'll be doing in the workshop next week. I'll give you the Mr. PC transcription. Or you do the transcription yourself. The bottom line is, let's put this in front of us so we can see it. So for me, my ears were not, and still are not, the greatest. That's not my biggest aptitude with music. So for me, what I know about myself is that when I can see something and when I can understand it, then I can imagine doing it. Now I have a path how to go forward. When it was just left up to my ears just went, dude, I got nothing. I'm out. I'm impressed. I got to go, is what my ears would tell me. And that's what they told me for years. Then when I saw this thing written down, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I could maybe do that at half speed or at 3/4 speed or whatever, to the point where it's actually not that hard. in some keys on some instruments. This is a doable thing. So that is what I want to let you know. And actually, before we wrap this up, I want to let you know I have a streaming concert coming up next Friday, on Friday, October 30th. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the address down here, it's at a really great live music place in Baltimore. It's with my band, hell of a band, amazing players. We have a great album that came out a couple years ago. We're going to do some of the music from that. So I hope you'll help me support the guys in my band. It's $7 fee. You can add an extra donation if you want, but I would love to have you check out that concert. Okay, so just to wrap up, that's what I want to let you know. So now you've got this great Mozart meets Lee Morgan lick here. So I want you to take this thing and run with it. It works great over major chords, dominant chords. You can change it easily to work over minor chords. It's one of the most usable things you're ever going to have out there. But my main goal today was to tell you not to get overwhelmed, not to let your ears sort of guide you wrong, to think that you can't do something. I'm here to say that most of the time, when I get past that feeling and see what the thing is, there's a very good chance I understand it. Sometimes when I can't understand it, I get help from a coach, from a mentor. I take some lessons, I do a workshop, and okay, now I've got the key in. And lo and behold, my fingers can pull it off. And I'm talking to you too. I have helped hundreds of adult students who show up with all the preamble, oh, my fingers, or I've got this medical thing, or, since my injury, such and such. I always get those folks playing better, cleaner, faster than they ever imagined. That's what's going to happen with you here today. So I hope you enjoy the lick. Have a great time, and hope I'll see you at some of those Digging Deeper workshops. 4 great ones coming up. Hope I'll see you there.